Could the remainder of your EIDL grant be coming early next year? Hey, good evening, everybody. This is LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. This is Evenings LALATE, our 1 hour programming block every night starting at 6:45. Starts with a check and then goes to EIDL. Big exciting news tonight about a couple things. I'll be covering the grant, then the loan, and then a new surprise for everyone. First, the grant. A lot of people have been asking me what could happen for EIDL if there's a Biden-Harris win in the fall. Well, the most obvious answer is Javita Carranza would be gone. She's a cabinet member. As you know, an SBA head is a cabinet member. She's appointed by the president, and she's a Republican. So she would be gone. And so would all those horrible people who don't want to comply with the CARES Act. So would you get the remainder of your EIDL grant as soon as Biden-Harris came in if they win? Very, very likely, I can report. If you recall, Kamala Harris has been among those people who actually called for the remainder of the EIDL $10,000 grant to be given to you. She's among the Democratic leaders who said, wait a second, why didn't you give the remainder of the $10,000 grant? Now, I can certainly do a lot of videos, which I'm not doing, at least not yet, about would situations be different for hazard pay and PPP and all those things if there's a Biden-Harris win. But grant is one of the most important things that people always ask. When would you get the remainder of that $10,000 grant? And that's a clear indication of when you could, because they were to be SBA had a law. It did not follow the law, did not follow the CARES Act, digressed from the CARES Act, was given money for the grant, didn't disperse the money for the grant, went out and bought scarves or, potpourri or something, and then, it just went poof. And everything else from the grant program went askew as well. So is that likely? Yes. Next, about a loan. Would there be a likely change in loan? Yes. First of all, it's highly likely that the Democrats would go right in and ask for a lot of loan and a lot of grant money to be sent out, but also to go back to what loan was supposed to be, no caps on loans. This ridiculous $150,000 cap on EIDL loans right now. If you didn't know, that's what I detailed 2 days ago. Everything that loan was not supposed to be would be gone, and all the craziness of Javita Carranza's office would be gone, and we'd be back to what the law said. Now, ironically, EIDL does not have an indefinite lifespan, so there is a bill or bills proposed that could push the envelope to reintroduce EIDL grants and loans. And it's highly likely that if the Republicans and the Democrats want PPP back, as you've seen my videos in the last few days, Mnuchin and Pelosi represent that they agreed on another round of PPP. Well, why is there not another round of EIDL? It just makes more sense. EIDL is sort of, the baby of this child. This is what birthed this child in a way. And a lot of people think that EIDL is just better. It's just a better program. I've despised PPP from the very beginning. I've not minced my words about it. I just hate PPP. But it has been a lifespan for some businesses. A lifesaver for some businesses. So EIDL coming back, highly likely, and likely grant and loan. Next, the private, really interesting and big developments. First, the great news. There is going to be a fourth mentor now in the private. Yes, we went from 1 to 4 in just 1, 2, and then suddenly 4. And let me introduce to you, not by name, but by nature, all 4 of the mentors. What I want you to understand is if you, and you're like, what is he talking about? What is this private? What is these mentors? Let me back it up. There's me, you see me here. Well, there's 4 other people. I call them mentors. I know the name is screwy. It's reverse. Like, I'm their mentor. So why are they're not my mentor. I got it. It's sort of like those people that say, why is your title say, yeah, you're in the spam folder. You're getting deleted. Go watch the guy that does this or does that on his titles. The These are for people who I got their loans. I got their loans for them. I helped get their loans. They were stuck. They weren't going anywhere. There was a problem. Each had a different problem. I'll get to that in a second. But they're grateful for my assistance. And I said, hey, you want to help other people? They said, absolutely. I want to go start with the fourth mentor because he's very, you really have to thank him. And I've never really, well, I'm not going to take it back. I detailed him many, 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 many weeks ago, but I didn't have the private in those days. And let me explain what happened. There was a point at which, and this is the history behind the private. And what is the private? The private is a private Instagram account. It's in the description below. It's a private Instagram account in which I and other people help you get your loan processed because it's stuck. It's not going somewhere. We white glove things for you. We help you and guide you to we donate our services for you to help you figure out what you have to do. It's not rocket science. And what we also do is I provide in there guidance as to how to do it yourself. So if you want to do it yourself and you don't need someone to do it for you, you can, and people get loans approved all the time. So you can either do it yourself or you can have an individual help you. What happened originally was when this channel started, I got all these people loans that they had not gotten loans but for my help. That's how this channel came to fruition. I was helping people and the numbers were incredible. Anywhere between $10 to $25 million in EIDL loans I got for people that were entitled to that money but were not getting it. That is what put this channel on the spot. I was doing thousands and thousands of comments per week. It was like 400 comments a day. I was reading the comments and answering their comments on air one by one by one. And so I got all these people these incredible loans. Well, finally, when we got to June, there were so many people that were still, I thought there was a few people that were still stuck from March or April. And I thought, it's like enough already. I got so frustrated with the process because we had escalated things. We had done my help, got loans approved. Then I found another trick, which was to bring congressional leaders in to get it done. That worked for some senators and some House representatives. Then we used contacting Javita directly. That worked as well. But after a while, it sort of ran out. It just didn't. People were still stuck. We couldn't get past the next step. So, and you can understand how incredibly difficult this was to go all through these steps, and people were just not going anywhere, having applied in March. So I said enough is enough. I said enough is enough. And so there was one viewer who is now mentor number 4. I mean, this is a great story. This is really an incredible story. I don't think he knows the story. But there was one viewer named mentor number 4 who private messaged me on Instagram and said, thank you so much. Here's how I got my loan process because of your help. Here are my contacts if you need to share these contacts with anyone else. I said, yeah, thank you. That's incredibly nice. I had helped him. My videos had helped him get his loan approved, but now he had actual contacts of people. I said, that's incredible. And I said, someone just DM'd me yesterday. Let me share the contact and tell the person to do this. Bam, approved. Next one, a few hours later, bam, approved. Suddenly, within a Friday to a Tuesday, I had I can't remember, it was like 15 loans approved. It was like $500,000. No, it was like $750,000 in just a few hours. I was like, wait a second. Why are we sitting here contacting congressional leaders and emailing Javita and hoping for something? Let's just do it this way because I'm just frustrated that people have been sitting around not getting their loans for months. So I thought, how do I do this? So I did it as an Instagram private account. I called it the private, and you go in there, and I posted basically his initial contacts, and then the next people I got from him in the next day or hours, I said, give me your contacts, took their contacts, and suddenly we had all these contacts. And please, I gotta slow this down. This is so important. Please don't assume that you just contact one person for everything. That doesn't work at SBA. They have separate offices for different purposes. They have an office for grant, an office for recon, an office for escalation, an office for processing, office. They have a different person for different things. And so you contact a person, just contact one person. They'll say, no, I don't do that. And you'll be like, oh, well, this is not helpful. No. So I had to figure out who's for what situation. And I literally had a flow chart. If your situation is here, you go to John. If your situation here, you go to Jeff. And I literally had a flow chart, and I put it in the private. And that's where we started. And suddenly the private took off. Thousands, hundreds of loans, no, it was dozens of loans approved within just a few days. It was just incredible. I mean, there's 1,000 people in the private now. So quickly came mentor number one. He had, and he's the one whose house burned down. He had a loan offer, but he wanted to raise it. So he already had a loan offer, but wanted to raise it. I helped him for that. So understand, as I described to you each of the mentors, what might parallel with your situation. Mentor number one had a loan offer, had to increase it. Mentor number two, I think, was a stuck situation or a recon. I can't remember. I think it was a recon. So got that person through recon, got it approved, and there they are now. That person is now doing their own loan increase. So that person is also sophisticated on what mentor number one is doing. Mentor number three is very, very dear to my heart. He knows he is. He is one of my original 20 viewers who, but for his help, this channel would not have existed, because he gave me an insight of something to do early on, which kept this channel afloat. Him and people like Jeff Hansen, a lot of people that supported this channel financially early on, and gave guidance. It just saved this channel those first few weeks. We would not have existed beyond that. And so he had a loan offer, but it was ridiculously low. It was like $4,000. He couldn't do anything with $4,000. And his story I told on camera for months and months and months. As he describes himself, he's a big, big person, and it brought him emotionally to his core, because he had this measly loan. He knew the measly loan was not going to carry his business. He needed to fight for a loan increase, and so he had to go up and go down and go up and go down with SBA to get that loan increase. He followed my videos, and then I said, hey, dude, get in the private. Get in the private, dude. What are you doing? Get in the private and get my contacts. He followed the self-help of the private without me personally white gloving anything for him. I didn't hear from him for a few weeks. And bam, last week, he got full funding loan increase for himself. And he says, I want to be a mentor now and help everyone else. That's mentor number three. Finally, mentor number four. The fourth mentor is the one who started the ball rolling when I needed contacts. After I'd exhausted all those processes to get you loans approved, 20 to 30 million, 10 to 25 million of loans all those months, I was stuck. I couldn't get people over the hurdle. He's mentor number four. Finally, me. I'm only doing one type of situation where you have a loan offer, and the loan offer is called processing. It's in the portal. It says processing, the SBA processing. And you've accepted, and it still says processing, and nothing's happened. I'm doing just that one situation because it's easy and I'm lazy. I'm not facetious. It's easy. It's easier, and it's with my time schedule I can do it. So here is the negative part of this broadcast. You see the amount of work and help that these people have done for other people. And yesterday I put out a very stern warning. I said to viewers that I'm about to shut down the private unless you start acting appropriately. And so I'm saying this on camera right now. You rarely hear me talk this way. But these four people, now that you've heard their incredible story, are people that helped other people. And one of the mentors, mentor number two, revealed to me yesterday that mentor had gotten 16 loans approved and funded over the last 2 weeks, which I personally calculated out to maybe $750,000. And of that, the vast majority never said thank you, never even informed the person that the loan had been approved, that the mentor had to reach out to them and say, hey, what happened to your loan? Oh, I got approved. Silence. And never donated or tipped the mentor at all. Imagine getting 16 businesses, $750,000, and donating your time to those people, and those people not even tipping you a penny. It's truly disgusting. And that's not the spirit of the private. The spirit of the private is to help one another. And I specifically said when I launched the private, there was only one rule, that you come in there and you help with one another, you support one another, whether it's tipping or you stay around and get other people's loans approved. Those 16 people, well, I think 2 tipped. Those 14 people got their $750,000 and ran for it. So I'm making something very clear. The private will not exist any longer if people continue to do that. I just will shut it down. I'm sorry. You have 4 incredibly wonderful, wonderfully nice, charming mentors now in there. And when you come into the private, you'll understand I'm only doing one situation. That is where you have an offer, you've accepted, it's processing, it's stuck. I can do that. Everyone else, you'll see a link to their 4 Instagram accounts. Mentor number 1, mentor number 2, mentor number 3, mentor number 4. You can reach out as all 4 of them and see who responds and who can handle your account and who will do it for you. When that person gets you approved and funded, you treat that person appropriately. You tip that person. You don't run for the high hills. You don't stop watching this channel. You don't just come and go, because that's not the spirit of this channel of helping one another. Finally, let's end on some even better news. And here's a little surprise. A lot of you, by nature of your businesses, because I know what your businesses are because I did your applications, qualify for hazard pay. And it looks like hazard pay will survive in the second stimulus package. And I know a lot of you who do EIDL don't watch the hazard pay video, but hazard pay is $10,000, up to $10,000. This is a lot of money. And if hazard pay survives, a lot of you are entitled to that money because a lot of you were essential workers during the pandemic, even if you're independent contractors, because that's the way the law is written. It's going to be a hot mess express. It's literally going to be a hot mess express. So here's the great news. I'm anticipating that if hazard pay is passed under the second stimulus package, and if it makes sense, that we're going to launch another private for just hazard pay, because I sense it's going to be something that's going to be very complicated to get funded. It's not going to be an easy path, and people are going to need a lot of guidance. And I hope that if that is the case, that we do it exactly the way that we did this private. Last, as if I'm not done with my box of surprises, another surprise. Yesterday, one viewer said, I want to be a new mentor in the private for unemployment. Yes, so one viewer now, which would ostensibly be mentor number 5, wants to be a mentor to help people do their UI and PUA applications. I'm not sure if it belongs in this private, which is all EIDL, but for now, I'm going to put it in there. And if it gets too big, we'll put it somewhere else. So boy, that is the spirit of this channel, helping one another. I help you, you help others. We all get through this. There's no diminishing funds. There's no shortage of funds, despite what Mitch McConnell wants you to make you believe, or Steve Mnuchin, that there's just not enough money out there. Yeah, as they said at the outside of Mitch's office today, show me my money, Mitch. There was a protest there. Stay with me. Stay informed. The private's in the descriptions below. Tip your mentor, please. Don't make me shut down the damn thing. And as always, join me tomorrow morning on LALATE Mornings. Big hit. That was over 100,000 subscribers, and we're only like early afternoon today. It's going to push maybe 150,000 by nighttime. So let's keep on going. If you have not gone to this channel to subscribe, please go to the front of this channel. There's a subscribe button, and there's a little bell next to it. Hit it. It will send you notifications when a new video goes live. Also, some video viewers have said that they are subscribing, but they're not getting alerts. I will drop in the descriptions below, in the comments, the comments below, a link to how to ensure that you have your account set up to get notifications when a new video goes live. Join me tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Mornings LALATE. Have a great evening and take care.